Hey, Shalom, Wa Barakathum, Karbakarium. This is the brother Sagalah, back another day all through the Spirit. I pray this lesson is edifying, exhorting, and comforting, which is Philippians 4 and 7, the peace that surpasseth all understanding. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, infinite honor, and glory to the God of heaven and earth, whose name is Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. Koholo Yamla, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. All praises, honor, and glory be to the God of heaven and earth, Yahweh, and his only begotten Son, whose name is Yahweh Shai. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel, Barak Yamla, Habayath, Madabada. Blessings to the house of David, which your brothers laboring, day in and day out, giving all diligence, making your calling and election sure. And to the Akim Wa'agwath, brothers and sisters that also listen and believe on the glorious gospel being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. And to you, I say Shalom. So Shalom and Barakathum, right? So I'm back another day. I pray this lesson once again is edifying to you believing brothers and sisters. Now, this is an impromptu lesson, just going into the BRICS alliance, which has been forming over the last year and a half or so, which is the opposition to Babylon the Great, which is ultimately prophetic. And I'll try to get that scripture through the Spirit, Lord willing, in Jeremiah the 50th chapter. But BRICS, it says here in this article from watcher.guru, and it's dated October the 3rd, 2024. BRICS, which is short, an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And all together, about another 30 plus nations that have all come together. It's a conglomerate of nations that's the opposition to America, which is Babylon the Great, and the beast system, the European Union. It says BRICS expert says US dollar is nearing the end of the line. So the dollar is soon to be replaced or to crash, let's say it that way, and this new CBDC, central bank digital currency system, is about to be pushed. So the CBDC, central bank digital currency system, is about to be pushed, which ultimately is going to be the push for the chip, according to Revelation the 13th chapter, the mark of the beast, which is known, which is going to be the RFID chip, the radio frequency identification device, which is going to be implanted in your head in order to be a part of the system. When you read in Revelation the 13th chapter, it says no man could buy or sell unless they have that mark, right? That's going to be pushed here in the last days, according to prophecy. Now, this BRICS alliance, let's read about it, right? Because they're saying that this is the end of the dollar. And it says, with the BRICS bloc increasing its opposition to Western hegemony, one expert has noted that the US dollar is likely nearing the end of the line. Indeed, the currency has faced a growing de-dollarization movement on a global scale, which is the nations coming together to push doing away with doing business in dollars, but doing it in local currencies. And this currency is getting ready to be pushed by the BRICS alliance nations, which is they're looking to push a currency backed by gold, which the dollar is not and has not been since the 1970s. It says, with an economic crisis burgeoning in the country, it could spell a perfect storm for the greenback struggle, which is another name for the dollar, is the greenback. Continuing on, the BRICS group has firmly embraced a position against the dollar and its policies that has led the way to increase local currency promotion that carries it even closer toward a multipolar world. With the 2024 annual summit nearing, there could be even greater de-dollarization developments. This is especially true with the BRICS pay system nearing an official launch. So the dollar, the almighty dollar, is almost out of here. And that's what we're seeing, is the fall of the dollar. Now, this goes on to speak about BRICS could capitalize on a dollar nearing the end of the line. I got everything I want out of here. I just want to get a few precepts to actually back this up. So we're witnessing the end of the dollar. Now, let's just get it first so I don't forget it. Jeremiah 50 comes to mind in verse 9. Jeremiah 50 and 9, it says, speaking of BRICS, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations. And that would be the BRICS alliance today. From the north country, headed by who? Russia, which is a guard. Russia is a part of the military power and might of this alliance, because it has economic, military, all different facets. So this is that, assembly of great nations headed by Russia from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. Now, ultimately, they're going to go to battle with Babylon. But they're setting themselves up now, right, through these proxy wars and through this alliance to economically destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. And they shall set themselves in array against her. It says, from thence she shall be taken. So Babylon's going to be destroyed. And then ultimately it says this, their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. So ultimately, this BRICS alliance and its members are going to go to war with Babylon the Great, which is America. Now, the money part of it, this is what's going on. The de-dollarization. It's in Habakkuk. This de-dollarization is the perfect storm for what's coming, because ultimately the dollar is going to crash. This is Habakkuk 2 and verse 3. It says, for the vision, which is the prophecies, and this major prophecy that America, the system of governance, is going to crash, is part of that vision. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. The same thing in Revelation, the 13th chapter, going into the mark of the beast. This is all a part of these end time visions, these end time prophecies. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So this prophecy is speaking, meaning it's coming to fruition. It's showing itself to be true, like all the rest of the prophecies that happened before and that are happening now, and the few that are left to go before the end of Babylon. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we are to wait patiently for the Most High and on the Most High, right? Let's see if I can find this. Verse 6, this is the book of Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, speaking of Babylon, speaking of Esau, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. So that thick clay goes into, and I'll get it, that thick clay goes into the heavy debt. So being indebted, in heavy debt, and then the nations coming together, right, to push de-dollarization is what's going to cause the crash of Babylon, as we see. H5671, it says weight of pledges, heavy debt, heavy debts. Now it goes on to say in the Strong's definition, something pledged, i.e. collectively, pawn, goods, thick clay, right? So now these are pledges that they've made, which are promises. So that is America and all of its allies and the money it sends to, foreign nations. All of these things are a part of that. So this way of living can't continue, because the scriptures let us know that this place will fall. Now, I want to get a few more and close it out. It's going to be a quick meal. This is Isaiah, the 19th chapter. So you got the nations pushing de-dollarization. You have the economic problems in America, inflation going to hyperinflation before long, right? So on and so forth. Now, all of this is pushing the crash or the fall of the dollar, which is all biblical prophecy. Isaiah 19 and 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt. So now the lack of work and jobs, that's becoming a new thing as well. I just read an article where there was a woman who has a doctorate degree and is speaking about a growing trend of women. And she was a so-called black woman, Israelite woman, had a doctorate degree with over $250,000 worth of debt. And she hasn't been able to find a job in 4 years, mostly because a lot of women like that are overqualified. And a lot of the jobs that they would have, some of those jobs are not around anymore. So she's overqualified. She hasn't been able to find a job in 4 years and had over $250,000 worth of debt. Isaiah 19 and 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, Babylon the Great, right, the land of our oppression, which the head or the tail or the branch or the rush may do. See, so this is the work, there being not any work for Egypt as part of the prophecy, which is why the dollar is about to fall. All these things are working in conjunction to bring forth the destruction of Babylon. Let's get a precept to add to that. Ecclesiastes 3 and 12, in that day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. So these are all the people that's on the stock market, all the people on the stock markets worldwide, all of your economic gurus, all of your investment bankers, your financial planners, the S&P 500, the futures market, right? In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, the same thing we just read in Isaiah 19. And the grinders cease is speaking of work, because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the street, speaking of the businesses, when the sound of grinding is low, when there's no more work. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, which is speaking of you Israelites. That's another name for the Israelites, the daughters of music, right? Because our people love to dance and sing and party and so on and so forth. So that's another way that Israel is identified in the scriptures. Let me get this to end it. Zephaniah 1 and 10, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord Yahweh, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate. This is once again going into the stock market, going into all of the world's financial markets. And most importantly, or first and foremost, America's stock market. And in howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills, the second great economic crash, just like going back to the time of the late 1920s and into the 1930s, right? When you had the first economic crash, right? And you had Black Friday and all of that. So this is prophecy that this would happen again on a much greater scale. And a great crashing from the hills. These are the nations, the money system. Verse 11, howl ye inhabitants of Martesh, for all the merchant people are cut down. All that bear silver in silver are cut off. Right? So this is the Most High actually bringing forth the destruction of Babylon, which lines up with other prophecies going into Revelation, the 18th chapter, and throughout the Holy Scriptures, which is all prophetic, which is in the word of the Most High, that this would happen, right? And there would be nothing that no one could do to offset that. There was nothing no one could do to offset that. Now I'll get verse 13. It says, therefore, their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation. They shall also build houses, but not inhabit them. So you have a lot of building going on in America. You have Kamala Harris, who's saying she wants to come in and be the president. We'll see if that happens. But one of her main goals is to build over 3 million new homes through HUD and the FHA and all that. They want to push building more homes, new homes, right? So all these homes is already being built, and that kind of ideology in America shows that this prophecy is soon to come to pass, that they shall also build houses but not inhabit them. So all the new houses, people ain't gonna be staying in them. And you already seen that with certain apartments and homes already, because people can't afford to live in homes, because the average cost of having a home is 2-3 times more than what it was just a handful of years ago. It says, and they shall build houses but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards but not drink the wine thereof. And why is that going to happen? Because people are not going to be working. So the flow of currency and taxes and all that, and the way the system is run, is going to cause this place to come to a complete standstill. And that's going to cause the second great economic crash. Once again, just like the first one, but 100 times worse, because this is going to facilitate the end of Esau's rule, unlike the first one. So with that, I pray this lesson is edifying, exhorting, and comforting to you believing brothers and sisters, the Habakkarium, the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Honors be to the elect elders of the nation of Israel, and Barakim La Habayath Madawadah. Blessings to the house of David, and to the Akim Wa'akwath, brothers and sisters that listen and believe on the glorious gospel being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. And to you I say Shalom.